Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn.
I'm gonna make him an offer he can't refuse.
As far back as I can remember, I always wanted to be a gangster.
Don't you understand, George? It's because you were not born.
Film Church.
Well, a boy's best friend is his mother.
I had a dream about you last night.
Oh,
I just
hello.
remembered.
Yeah.
We were sitting in a movie theater watching...
Of course we were.
Yeah, we were sitting in a movie theater watching, about to watch Maestro.
Hello, and welcome to Film Church Radio, the podcast that treats cinema as a religion. It's Sunday, I'm Lewis.
And I'm Brandon.
And we are here to talk about movies. Each week, Brandon and I alternate picking a film for us both to watch and discuss. As it's the end of the year, end of 2023, what we are doing today is we are going to go through our 5 top watches from this year. Not necessarily released in this year, just a film that we've discovered as we've been on a year-long cinematic odyssey. And we'll probably go through some of our Letterboxd stats as well. We did that last year, and that was quite fun. So if we've got those handy, we'll do that at the end and pad it out a little bit. And as always, stick around for the end of the show to hear what we'll be watching next week, or not. We'll find out. And yeah, you can follow us on all social media channels at Film Church Radio. We're on YouTube. We're on Instagram. We're on TikTok. We're on Twitter or X. We're on Facebook. All those places. And you can also find our merch. If you go to the link that is in the description, you'll be able to find it. Thank you so much for being here. We want to know what your top 5 films are of this year as well, that you've watched. So send us a message on any of the socials. We'd love to interact with you. So yeah, I mean, I think normally we'd do like an intro section, but as we talk about films that we've watched this year, probably won't do that. But do you just want to do alternate? So you do one, I do one, and then we go up to our top watch?
Yes.
Sweet. Okay. Let's do it then, Brandon. Let's get straight into it. What is the first of your favorite watches from this year?
Yeah, so these aren't in any particular order. I mean, obviously it's the top 5.
Yes.
But 2 through 5, I don't really have them in order of favorites.
Yeah.
But first one there is Oppenheimer.
Nice.
It is the only 2023 film on my favorite watch of the year.
I've got one on mine. Oh, I don't. I bumped it last minute.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Yeah, this year was hard. I don't know why it was so hard for me to decide. I mean, I went through my Letterboxd. I picked out all the films that I rated 5 out of 5.
Yes.
That were my first time watching them this year. And then I also picked out all of the ones that I rated 4.5 out of 5 because a lot of my favorites were in there too.
Yeah.
But I decided to go with all the 5 out of 5s this year. So, yeah, Oppenheimer, it was between that and several other things. But just thinking about my experience in the cinema watching it and just what a magic trick it was to pull that movie off, where it's so intense and it's all dialogue and it's crazy.
Yeah. And no special effects.
Yeah.
Or, well, there's special effects, but no like computer generated effects.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, man. Such a great time watching that movie. I hope it gets a bunch of awards. People are talking about Robert Downey Jr. getting Best Supporting Actor, and
yeah,
we'll see.
Yeah, it would be good. I hope so, because I do think that he was very good in it. But I mean, everybody was.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Typical Nolan. Typical Nolan.
And Gary Oldman just popping up for like 1 minute.
Yeah,
was pretty great.
Yeah.
I was watching an interview with him yesterday, and I really want to watch his show on Apple TV now, Slow Horses.
Yeah. I haven't seen it, but my dad got the book for Christmas. So
oh, yeah?
I have a feeling we might be watching it in the house.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Well, text me if you do. I'll let you know if I've started it.
Yeah, dude. We'll do. Yeah, before, I mean, my top film in 2023, which isn't in my top 5, but I'm going to jump off it now, Killers of the Flower Moon.
Yeah.
I think the only reason that it didn't make my top 5 is maybe because we did an episode on it.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I don't know what more I can say, but I think looking back on the year, that was the movie that I was most hyped for and like enjoyed the most while I was in the cinema. You know?
Yeah. I definitely think it's the most important film of the last, not even year, but last several years probably.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of those movies that will live on for a long time, I think.
Yeah,
and be kind of a turning point, and hopefully be a turning point in history, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see.
Let's hope so. And I think the scuttlebutt is that Criterion will put out it as a disc at some point.
Yes. Yeah.
But I'm very much looking forward to that. Hopefully next year.
If Criterion puts out an edition of Killers of the Flower Moon, will that be the first Apple Criterion?
Oh, I think they did the Velvet Underground documentary.
Oh, okay.
And I think that was Apple. But I'll have to double check. But I know they've definitely got like a partnership with Netflix.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They've got something with...
they did The Irishman also.
They did, yeah. And Marriage Story and stuff. I think they've got something... I mean, they've set something up with Pixar as well. So they probably do. I mean, they've got most of Scorsese's stuff on there. So
yeah,
I'd assume that would be where we were heading with it. But hopefully.
Yeah.
Hopefully. My number 5 was from 1928. It's the only silent film on my list at all, I think. And it's The Crowd, directed by King Vidor. A film that I gave 4.5 when I watched it, and I think it was more about the fact that I actually got to see it. You know, that kind of elevated above some of the other 5-star films that I watched. It was a film that has been on the top films of all time list for the longest time that I've been looking up, and just it's never had like a good home video release, and I couldn't find it online, couldn't rent it from like any kind of streaming services, not available anywhere really. The only way that I've heard of people watching it was from TCM. They showed it like once a year, and never had TCM when I was like looking for it. And I finally found it. It was on like the National Archive or something for the US.
Oh,
where they put like public domain films up, and this was there. So I finally got to watch it. It's such a realistic look at the American dream. I can remember we talked about it, and I watched it at a time when my wife and I had just relocated out of America. I was feeling a bit disillusioned with America as a whole.
Yeah.
And it was the right film at the right time.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's really good. So I bumped it into my top 5. It's a silent film. I can't really go a whole year without mentioning a silent film in my top 5.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just a very good film, and one that, hopefully should become more widely available in the future. But yeah, same as you, 2 through 5, there's no order. They could interchange.
Yeah.
My number 1 is nailed on. But yeah, these are kind of all over the place. So I'll say number 5, but it could be number 2.
Yeah.
Moving on to our number 4s. Or whatever number.
Mine is Metropolis.
Yes.
First time I watched it was this year. You can go. We did an episode on it.
Yeah.
I mean, I had a whole experience with that movie this year because it's one of those movies that I can't quite pinpoint when I first was aware of the movie, but I know I've been aware of it for probably over 20 years.
Yeah.
Because the poster being so iconic, I think it's like one of the most iconic silent movie posters. but that's probably also because of growing up watching Star Wars. The cover just looks like C-3PO
Yeah.
on the front, this golden robot. And, so because of that, I've been aware of the film for a long time. And then the River Oaks Theater here in Houston put together a competition to, because the film is in public domain, take a section of the film and turn it into your own film, basically. Make a short film based on the film and use 10% of your film has to have footage from the movie. And so because of that, I was like, well, let's watch the movie for Film Church, and then I'll decide if I want to enter this competition. So we did that, and then I did enter the competition and got in, and they showed my film along with several other short films before doing an outdoor screening of Metropolis.
Yeah.
So all of that, obviously heightened my experience of the movie. I mean, but you can go back and listen to our episode on Metropolis before I even made my film and stuff, and I gave it 5 out of 5. Like, it's a really, really great film. Probably the best silent film I've seen so far. Not to say that
I mean, it's
probably
a high
sounds
bar.
like
Metropolis is so good. It's not like, other silent films are fine. This is just a little bit better. It's like, this is potentially one of the greatest films ever made.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So,
yeah. And I do love other silent films too, but it's man, it's so good.
It's so good.
So yeah.
It's been like the film of your year in like a weird way.
Yeah, kind of.
I would say, it's you'll always remember Metropolis, I bet, when you look back on this year.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, for sure.
Love it. My number 4 is a film from 2022 that I watched at the beginning of this year. An English film called After Sun. Got a lot of hype when it was released. I didn't get like a huge release in America, so I didn't see it in cinema. Managed to catch it on streaming and then bought the Blu-ray when it was released. Such a beautiful film. Like, I have not been able to stop thinking about it since I saw it.
I keep hearing things about it.
Oh, it's so good. About a divorced dad taking his young daughter on like a holiday.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, it's so well handled because it deals with themes of like, growing up and like coming of age, but also like depression and anxiety and, everything like that. It's not too on the nose. There's quite a lot that's told very lyrically that I really liked. And just left me in a complete mess. And it didn't feel engineered to do that. I think the moments where it's just the whole way through, there's so much in there that could say, that could just destroy you emotionally. But there's still moments of like joy and, happiness, and it's just amazing.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Sounds beautiful.
A film I'll be watching a lot. I don't think my wife will want to watch it again. Not that she loved it, but it's very, very emotional.
Yeah.
So be forewarned.
Yeah.
Anybody who wants to watch. But it's a shame I didn't get it in before last year because it probably would have been my top film of the year. But it's so good. After Sun.
Nice. Yeah, I keep hearing things about it and seeing it on people's favorites of the year list. So,
yeah.
I'd I put it on my watch list, but then forgot about it.
Yeah.
So I got to get back to it.
And Paul Mescal, who plays the male lead, I guess, is blowing up right now. He's going to be in Gladiator 2. He's got a film coming out called All of Us Strangers that has got a lot of hype as well. So
nice.
He's one to watch. Yeah.
Sweet.
And he got nominated for the Oscar for this, I think.
Okay, cool.
So, yeah.
Well, did this come out
This came out last year. So he was nominated alongside... Who won Best Actor Oscar last year? Oh, God. I can't remember. But he was nominated for Best Actor.
Best
and everything. Because Everything Everywhere All at Once. Yeah.
Right. That was this year, yeah.
But I'm trying to think who won Best Actor. It's awful. I've already forgotten.
It was not Will Smith.
It was not Will Smith.
That was the year before.
Let's have a look. 2023. Oh, it was Brendan Fraser.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Of course it was. Yeah.
I almost said it right when you were saying it.
Yeah. I had to Google it. I mean, do you think anyone will ever remember The Whale? I know this is a bit off topic, but I feel like it's already just like disappeared from the public consciousness.
I don't think it will. I mean, maybe it's disappeared from the public consciousness, but Aronofsky, he's got his own cult following. Those people never forget. I mean, like Mother, you know.
Yes,
that was like one.
Yeah,
you know, and his first movie that he did. Oh my God, I'm blanking, but the one with Jared Leto where he does all the drugs.
Yeah. Yes.
You know,
I think that maybe my memory of it has been tarnished due to the fact that Brendan Fraser was my least favorite thing about Killers of the Flower Moon.
Yeah.
You can hear me explain why on our episode on Killers of the Flower Moon.
Yeah.
So, number 3. Getting through it.
Mine is AI, artificial intelligence.
Oh, dang.
The Spielberg film that Kubrick had started, and then Spielberg finished it. Just thinking about, just looking at my list, that one just sticks out because of, the movie made me cry a lot, so there's that.
Yeah.
It was a really great watch. I really loved the film, and then we also had a really great conversation with Chance Smith, on our episode and stuff. And he didn't like the film, obviously as much. I liked the film the most out of all three of us, but it's always great when someone doesn't have the same opinion as you on a film, especially during a conversation where we're discussing the film, because you really have to decide what you think, and I was like, no, this is a great film. I love it. It's perfect.
The thing I keep thinking about is how Kubrick passed it to Spielberg and said that he would do a better job at directing it because he's more like emotional. He can get the emotional beats more than Kubrick. And I think that's where it works the best.
For sure.
Yeah. You said it is very, it's very, very sad.
Yeah.
And Haley Joel Osment at its peak as well.
Yeah. Yes, for sure. I mean, he's also great in Tusk.
He is great in Tusk.
But yeah, such a great movie. Like, absolutely loved it. Can't believe it was the Spielberg film that I had never seen.
Yeah.
Yeah. So good.
Good old Spielberg. Cool. My number 3 is from 1973, and it's The Wicker Man, directed by Robin Hardy. We watched this. I mean, I watched this at the same time as Don't Look Now for the episode of the Danish Horror Month, because they were released at the same time. And I think they were released as a double bill. So it was like The Wicker Man first, then Don't Look Now. And I thought The Wicker Man was better than Don't Look Now. And I know that Don't Look Now has got a really large cult following, but The Wicker Man is so good at alienating you as a viewer, because I can remember about half an hour in, I was like, am I supposed to not know what's going on in terms of where this girl's gone? There's been no clues. This island is weird as heck. There's nothing here that I'm supposed to know what's happening. but it's a film that really sticks the landing and gives you like a really good payoff.
Yeah.
And it's one it's probably going to be added into my rotation now for October films to watch around the season. Christopher Lee is suitably spooky.
Yeah.
Edward Woodward as the police officer is great as well. And some incredible images from it. It's aces.
Heck yeah. Yeah, I remember you giving it high praises. I still haven't watched it yet, but I will.
It's really good. I mean, and it's only it's less than an hour and a half. I think it's like 85 minutes or something like that.
Yeah.
So it just comes in, does its thing, and then leaves. So
Perfect.
yes, that's what.
Yeah,
I
love a good, well crafted
yeah,
film.
Exactly.
No fat on it.
No. Oh, we're getting to the business part of the episode. Into our top 2, which there's no order, but still.
Yes. So next one for me is Passive Glory, the Kubrick film.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just so good, dude. It's a very, I feel like it's a very important film. It's a film that it's not just a good movie. I feel like it's something that's important that everyone needs to see.
Yeah. I agree. I mean, it's really high up on our Kubrick ranking. I had to pull it up just to remind myself. I think it ended at number 2.
Yeah.
It did. It was our second favorite Kubrick film.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. I did not think that was going to be how it ended.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's a deeply important film that people need to see, because it's still incredibly relevant to our world today.
Yes.
In terms of warfare and authority and law
and doing
all
the right
that
thing.
Stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Man, those Kubrick episodes were so much fun.
They were. Yeah. We had some really, really great ones.
Because the good thing about Kubrick is all his films have got merit. Like even like Spartacus, which we didn't like very much, was still like really fun to watch.
Yeah.
Oh, Kubrick.
Oh, Koobs.
You brilliant bastard. My number 2 is by another giant of cinema, Fellini, and it's La Strada from 1954. Watched it at the beginning of the year and kind of forgotten a little bit until I started going through. And I was like, oh my God, I love that film. It's about a young woman that's kind of sold to a circus strongman and, is basically abused by him for the whole runtime. But the Giulietta Messina, who plays the girl, is so expressive and brilliant in the film. There's some times where she looks a bit Chaplin-esque in her facial maneuvers.
Yeah.
And I was just absolutely engrossed by the whole film. I think it's brilliant. And I think this is definitely my second favorite. I said there was no order, but I'd go and watch this again before the other 3 that I've talked about.
Yeah.
And I'm looking forward to watching some more Fellini hopefully next year. But it's really, really, really good.
Sweet.
Yeah,
I mean, you got that big Fellini box set, right?
I don't have the Fellini one. I've got the Bergman, but the Fellini one. Oh, I do have the Fellini one.
That's what I was about to say. I was
I'm
pretty sure I've seen that on your shelf.
Yeah, I do have. Oh my gosh. Yeah, so I do have a lot that I can go through and watch.
Is all that stuff still packed away?
It's in the wardrobe behind me actually. It's in this one.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
It's technically kind of packed away. It's not out, but it's accessible.
Nice.
For those of you that care about where my Blu-rays are housed. Yeah. So, on a total unrelated note, I took loads of my old films into a they call it, it's called CEX, and it's a shop that buys films from you and then has like loads of pre-owned stuff in there, a bit like Movie Trading Company.
Yeah.
So I found loads of old films that I'd left when I moved. So I took them in to sell. And then they had some Criterions in there dead cheap. So I got 4 Criterions for like the amount that I traded in for all these old DVDs.
Nice.
Yeah. So that was a good day.
I like that there's a place that you can do that over there.
It works really well. They give you like cash, or like they give you like double if you get store credit.
Yeah,
So it's like store credit. Give me the store credit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
Awesome. But yeah, that's my number 2.
Nice. So number 1, right?
Number 1. Here we go.
Favorite
What is your
watch.
favorite film that you watched this year, Brandon?
Can you guess? It is a film that we did an episode on. That's the first clue.
Oh my gosh. Oh no, you said that we only had one in 2023.
Trying to make this fun.
Ugh, I don't know.
I mean, not that it's not fun.
No.
It is fun. Like, oh, gotta record this.
Oh dear, I know that I'm going to go past it and be like, obviously, because it's not from this year. Is it Sorcerer?
No, it is.
That's one of my honorable mentions.
It is. Yeah, it is an honorable mention for me, but it is earlier
Earlier
in the year. Let's see. It is the first episode of 2023 that we did.
Is it Frailty?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, cool.
I know. It's like, I remember when we watched that movie and we did the episode, I was like, man, I like the film really spoke to me in a lot of ways.
Yes.
Because it's about religion. It's about I don't know. It's about, children. Like a child being put with this moral choice of like, do I listen to my parent, or do I do what I know is right?
Mm-hmm.
It just, I think it perfectly illustrates something important. I don't know, something that means a lot to me, I think. And on top of that, it's Bill Paxton directed it. He's from Texas. The movie takes place in in a fictional town, but it was based on Tyler, Texas.
Yeah.
And, so that kind of heightens it for me as well. But and then like going through the whole year, there was so many good watches because we did all of Kubrick.
We did.
A whole season of Kubrick, which I'd seen most of his films, but there was a few in there I hadn't seen, like Barry Lyndon.
Yeah.
I gave 5 out of 5, and obviously Passive Glory is on my list. Top 5 watches of the year.
Yeah.
But then we had so many other good ones that we watched this year.
I know.
For Film Church, The other ones on my list are The Eternal Daughter, Evil Dead Rise, Purple Rose of Cairo, Beau is Afraid, Sorcerer, Three Women. All of those we did episodes on, and all such good movies. So good. Such good movies. Killers of the Flower Moon, City Lights, Deliverance, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. And then some of the other ones that we didn't do episodes on that I really loved was Victoria. I just watched Whiplash a few days ago for the first time. And it's an amazing movie. I mean, the first half of the movie, I was like, I hate all these people. I don't even want to watch this movie. And then by the end of it, I was like, that was really good.
Yeah.
Renfield was really great. But I'm a Cheerleader, Guardians of the Galaxy 3. Dead End Drive-In is an old film that is really, really good. The Living End is also really good. And Mad Max 2, I watched for the first time this year, and oh my God, Mad Max 2 is amazing. But despite all these incredible, incredible films, I still ended up being like, man, Frailty was freaking dope.
Yeah.
So
that's what it takes.
yeah.
Sometimes it just speaks to you on a certain level. And that's
Yeah,
all
exactly.
you need. Frailty was good, though.
Yeah.
It was very good.
So what's your number one?
My number one is a film that I watched twice this year, which I don't normally do. You know, normally I kind of do such a big catalogue. But, it's got the same qualities for me as like Vertigo in that it's very intoxicating and kind of like there's so much in there that not just the story, but there's the colours and the setting and the characters and stuff like that. And it's Black Narcissus from 1947.
Okay.
It's been added rather recently to my top 4 on Letterboxd after the second watch because I just love it so much. I mean, there's directed by Powell and Pressburger, who I've been watching quite a lot of their stuff this year. But the settings are amazing. The acting's really good. It deals with nuns questioning their own faith, which, as you know, is my favorite genre of film. When people question faith, I'm in. But in such a different way. Oh, it's so good. Every time, it's one of those films where as soon as I finish it, I just want to start it again.
Yeah.
So,
heck yeah. I mean, it sounds like I would really like it too.
Yeah, I just know that it's like going to be one of my favorite films of all time now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it could not be anything other. That's the only film I thought of when, I started kind of putting the list together. Some other films, I mean, you've said about what we've watched for Film Church. We've watched some great films for Film Church. Sorcerer is definitely up there as one of my favorites. I mean, what else did we go through? Deliverance was really, really good. Killers of the Flower Moon we talked about. That's one of my honorable mentions. I'm just kind of going through now to have a look at some of the stuff. Last Action Hero. It wasn't a first time watch. I had seen it ages ago, but I was just in it.
Yeah.
Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Is that the new?
That's the new one.
Yes, that was really, really good. Like you said, Evil Dead Rise. All these really good films that we managed to watch. Barry Lyndon, I think, is one that I've thought about a lot, and I know that the lead actor passed away like earlier this month.
Yeah,
so maybe that had something to do with it. But yeah, some more honorable mentions for 2023. As you said, Barbie was great. Oppenheimer was really good. Past Lives for me might be my second favorite of the film of the year, behind Killers of the Flower Moon.
Yeah,
absolutely love that. Grand Illusion. I didn't want to talk about it 3 weeks on the trot, so I bumped it down to my honorable mentions. But one of my favorite watches of the year for sure. The David Lean adaptation of Oliver Twist is in there.
Yeah.
Just had a really good feeling about it when I was watching it. I watched a lot of Barbara Stanwyck films, so Remember the Night with Fred McMurray is really good. The Lady Eve is also really good. And Stella Dallas is great. Those three are like my favorite Barbara Stanwyck films. And then last night, this is how quick it can kind of get in there. I watched I thought it was going to be really cheesy and really corny, but I really enjoyed it. Called Night Has a Thousand Eyes. Edward G. Robinson, who's in Double Indemnity as Keys, the cigar chomping friend, is like, can tell the future. And like kind of tries to hide away from the world, but then has to come out to save someone's life. It's just really fun and silly, but like taken really seriously. It's not like laughable. It's kind of it's played really well. And Edward G. Robinson is absolutely brilliant. I think he's great in most stuff. So I really enjoyed that. So that kind of made my honorable mentions as well.
Sweet.
Yeah, there's a lot there.
A lot
films
of good
are good.
stuff.
Yeah, you should. Everyone should watch films.
Do it. What did you think of last week's episode? Did you listen to it?
I did. Yeah, it was good. It worked well. Yeah, I think your idea of like doing a Secret Santa but with films that you would want people to buy is a good idea.
Yeah. It was funny because literally last night I was like, man, I really want that Mean Girls Steelbook for myself.
Yeah.
And then I had mentioned that to Sarah while we were out yesterday, and then we got home and she was like, cause we haven't done like Christmas.
Yeah.
We did Christmas with my family, but we didn't really have a chance to give each other presents. So she had a present for me when we got home, and I opened it, and it was the Mean Girls Steelbook.
Oh my gosh.
She had already gotten it.
How perfect.
And also, I had a dream about you last night.
Oh.
I just remembered.
Yeah.
We were sitting in a movie theater watching.
Of course we were.
Yeah, we were sitting in a movie theater watching, about to watch Maestro, the new Bradley Cooper movie.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like a packed house, and I was like, I don't know, for some reason, oh my God. I mean, I said her name in the dream, but now I already forgot. The main actress that's in the movie.
Is it Carey Mulligan?
Yeah, Carey Mulligan. For some reason, I was like, did you know that's Carey Mulligan? Like, as if you couldn't tell. And it's like a packed house. Everybody, like, the house lights are still up. People are sitting down.
Yeah.
And I, like, turn around to kind of look at how many people are in the theater. And then when I turn back, you're, like, halfway down our aisle, like, in a brawl with somebody, like, kicking them and, like, beating them up. Like, I was like, what is happening?
Sounds like something I'd do.
Uh-huh. But, yeah, that was the whole dream.
Yeah. Oh, dear. Right, do you want to end by going through some of our Letterboxd stats?
Yeah, let's do it. So if we go to our Letterboxd profiles.
Yes.
I see a button that says stats for 2023. Do I just click on that?
That's the one.
Loading.
Perfect.
All right. 184 diary entries. How many films did you watch this year?
322.
Wow.
I was also unemployed for a large portion of this year, so
yeah.
That might have something to do with it. How many hours, which is on the right-hand side of that like top page?
351.8.
Nice. 575.9. Some would say a waste of time, not me.
So let's see. What else is on here?
So the bits I think we could go through are like the most watched stars and directors. And then that's pretty, I mean, our highest average, lowest average, most popular, most obscure.
I watched Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse 4 times.
Wow.
And
yeah,
Evil
my most
Dead Rise
watched
3
is a tie between quite a few films, but It's a Wonderful Life, Remember the Night with Barbara Stanwyck, Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, Black Narcissus, and Greed, the Eric von Stroheim film. And I watched all of those twice.
Nice.
Not a big one for watching films more than twice.
Yeah. So let's see. You said the
most watched stars and then directors.
Okay. Where is it? Stars. All right, here we go. Harrison Ford, 6 films.
Nice.
Bill Hader, 6 films.
Nice.
Tilda Swinton, 5 films. Shia Wingham, 5 films. Michael Cera, 5 films. Mark Hamill, 4. The rest are 4. Carrie Fisher, Kenny Baker, J.K. Simmons, and David Prowse. Obviously, nice. I watched some Star Wars.
Yes. Yeah, I've got Barbara Stanwyck, 8. Jimmy Stewart, 8. Harrison Ford, 8. And then Tilda Swinton, Alec Baldwin on 7. because he did a lot of voices. He was like my most watched, like November time, and I was like, oh god, gotta change that. And then Sean Connery and Lois Maxwell, who plays Moneypenny, with 6.
Nice.
Yeah. And then directors. I'm assuming we're probably going to have the same director at the top of our tree.
This director list is like iconic.
Yes, I know.
Like literally.
Yeah.
I'm guessing both of our number ones are Stanley Kubrick.
It sure is. Yeah, the Cubes.
16 films.
Same.
Yeah. And then it jumps down to 4 films for me for Steven Spielberg.
Spielberg's my second as well. Yeah,
Nice.
It was 7. Yeah.
7, wow.
I know. Yeah, good old Spielberg.
James Cameron,
Yeah.
4 films. Edgar Wright, William Friedkin,
Yeah.
Joanna Hogg, Damien Chazelle, Alfred Hitchcock, Richard Linklater, Robert Altman.
Nice.
There's a film class right there.
Yeah. I've got David Lean and John Ford, both with 5. And then Hitchcock, Fritz Lang, Wes Craven, and George Stevens, all with 4. And then Terrence Young, who directed the early Bond films, and Michael Powell with 3.
Wow.
So, again, I mean, yes, all of those, you should watch their films. And then the last thing is down towards the bottom, there's the highs and lows. And then we'll wrap this up.
Okay. These are funny. Highest average, The Godfather.
Nice. Mine is Ikaru, the Kurosawa film
Oh yeah.
about the guy that's dying.
Lowest average, Jay and Silent Bob, super groovy cartoon movie.
I know you said that it wasn't great when you watched it.
Yeah.
Mine
is it's a fun watch, but
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
parts
Doesn't
of it are
reach
just
the-
like that wasn't that funny.
No, Heights of Clerks 3.
Do what?
Doesn't reach the heights of Clerks 3.
Right.
My lowest average is Meg 2 The Trench,
Nice.
or Meg Poo The Stench, my favourite critic analysis of that one. Most popular,
Barbie.
yeah, Barbie. And then most obscure.
The Wizard of Loneliness. It is a very obscure,
Yeah.
but it was really good.
Yeah.
And there's some people you would recognize in it too if you give it a watch. But yeah, I it's the reason I watched it was because of Nathan Fielder and the guy that calls him the Wizard of Loneliness on his show. Like, you're like the Wizard of Loneliness, and it's like what even
does
kind
that
of
mean?
insult is that? And then like flipping around on Amazon Prime, this movie called The Wizard of Loneliness. I was like, oh my god, there it is. That's why. Let's watch this.
Yeah. My most obscure film was a film called Time Out of Mind, which is the most forgettable title ever. I gave it 1 star. It was included in a box set of like noir films that I watched all of, and it absolutely stinks. It's so boring. It's so terrible. There's nobody in it that, apart from maybe Ella Raines, that I've ever heard of before. Only 138 people have watched it according to Letterboxd. Keep it like that. It's crap. Oh dear. Yeah, so that is our Letterboxd stats. I'm sure if you go to if you want to follow us and go to our Letterboxd pages, you can probably see these stats for yourself and have a good old root through and see what else we've been looking at. Mine is at Walker Lewis 3007, and Brandon is at Salmon Scope to see what I've been watching there. But yeah, I mean, I think that is bringing us to the end of the show, Brandon.
Yes.
Shall we talk about what is going to be happening from next week on?
Yes.
Awesome.
So we are going to take a short break and regroup
Yes.
and kind of figure out what new direction we want to take Film Church Radio. It seems like our most popular episodes are when we do series. So like our Sergio Leone series, where we went through his entire filmography, and then we did Stanley Kubrick this year. And also those have been like the most beneficial for us in terms of like learning and growing as lovers of film. And so I think we want to do more of that kind of stuff. We got to decide who we're going to tackle next. And so what we'll end up doing is doing like seasons from now on. We'll do like, a couple of seasons a year, maybe. We'll kind of see.
Come back.
We still got to kind of work all this out, but
I think that's where the enjoyment for me lies, is those big, things that we can kind of chip away at bit and really get into someone's filmography, whether it be a director or maybe in the future like an actor, a period, whatever. But I think that's where we're at our best, honestly, and it's just keeping it a bit more uniform, because at the moment we're just flying around from film to genre to genre, where this keeps us a bit more grounded and kind of on the same page. I'm not sure when we'll be back. It won't be, I don't think it'll be too long. I don't think it's going to be like middle of the year, we have got some plans for May at the latest, I'd say. I'd hope that we try and get something in before May. But we just need to kind of communicate and think what that's going to be, and then it gives us more time to kind of prepare and record them and make sure that they're all as good as can be. So
yes, should we let people know what we're planning on doing in May?
Let's do it.
May is going to be Matrix. There's 5 Sundays in May. There's 4 Sundays, I think, but there's also 4 Matrix films. So I mean, I've never seen any of the Matrix films, so we are going to spend the whole month of May talking about the Matrix. I'm definitely looking forward to that, and it's going to be weird not putting out episodes every week, but I think it'll, like you said, it'll give us more time to kind of make the seasons really good. And do a little more research, because we did do a lot more research on our Sergio Leone and Kubrick. We were both reading books and
just feeling the love of it.
So that's what we're doing.
Awesome.
You can, of course, also in the meantime hit us up on social media and check out our website, filmchurchradio.com. Buy some merch if you want. There's a store. So
my final question for you, which we didn't touch on, which we normally do, is favorite episode of the show from this year.
Favorite episode of the show that we recorded? I think it's a toss-up. Between The Shining that we did with Andy and the end of the tour that we did with Mitch. Both were really great conversations.
I agree. Mine was a toss-up between Eyes Wide Shut with Zach, where we just kind of ended up talking for like 2 hours about the whole of Kubrick's filmography and like the end of it. And The Shining with Andy. I think that was one of my favorites. Just, it was great. And you can tell when you look at when we go back and look at those episodes, like the fact that they are on average about nearly 2 hours long. Most of those Kubrick episodes, we loved it. So more like that is going to be coming soon. But definitely, go and listen to the Shining episode if you haven't already. It's really good. But with that, I think that brings us to the end of the show. As Brandon mentioned, you can go and listen to all these episodes streaming. We've got merch, which is linked below, and just go and follow us on all socials and be notified when we do put out our next episode. We'll probably be trying to tweet more as well and let people know what's coming soon to get you, so that you're not just out the loop and a new episode dropped. We'll try and let you know as soon as possible, as soon as we know. But I mean, with that, all that's left to say is
See you in 2024.
Amen.
Amen.